Let's go to America's Newsroom. Co-anchor Bill Hemmer, he's with us now. Hey, Bill, you're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now, my great home state. Good to see you. So,
yes,
Bill,
indeed.
What's your sense on the ground, number one, and maybe number two, as you're looking at tonight, do you really think that these candidates are going to go after Joe Biden? Aren't they really going to attack each other? They're in a primary race, not a general election race.
Yeah. Well, the head of the RNC, good to be with both of you, by the way, and greetings from Milwaukee, where it feels like 115 degrees here. I can't believe it. It's not Texas, it's Wisconsin, for crying out loud. A couple of things here. I know Ronna McDaniel the other day said, the head of the RNC, she came out and said, I hope they go after Joe Biden. But there's going to be a little back and forth on all this stuff. And Shauna, I heard you mention the closeness of the races here in Wisconsin. You're exactly right about that. But for years, Wisconsin was a blue state. All the elections were really close, but it was blue, 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 and Trump blew through that wall, the blue wall in 2016 by 23,000 votes, and then Joe Biden flipped it back again in 2020 by 20,000 votes, and you got 3 million people voting every 4 years. I mean, that's by that much, right? I mean, you can pick a couple precincts across the state and determine the winner here in Wisconsin. Right. A couple of things I just want to read, so the audience is aware. In the summer of 2019, the very first debate, very similar to what Republicans are doing right now, the first debate for Democrats, that summer, during the primary campaign, Kamala Harris came out like a fire torch against Joe Biden. Remember that about the busing situation in Northern California? Some people thought it was questionable whether or not the facts were right or not. Anyway, they worked it out a year later. And Scott Walker, who was a pretty successful Republican governor, he was on our program earlier today with Dana and me. He said something I'd never heard before. So in the summer of 2015, right, we're all in Cleveland, Ohio, for when the Republicans were ready. That was the night that Trump came out and Fox News did 25 million viewers. Scott Walker was on a tear in that primary. He was getting all the attention. He was flying in and out of New York all the time, raising a lot of money. They loved him in Iowa. He told me today that he listened to his consultants tell him how to approach that debate. And you know what happened? He fell flat on his face, and his campaign was pretty much done that night. Right. And the guy standing next to him was Trump, and Trump had no talking points and no consultants by him. I just thought it was a little interesting anecdote that I'd never heard before.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
We're going to talk about that in a few minutes, Bill. I call that doing the Homer Simpson, when Homer fades into the brush in the bush. That's what that's my imitation of Scott Walker. So that's part of the problem, listening to consultants or billionaires who've backed you because you think you're better than you might be on the campaign trail. I digress. We don't need to tell you this. We don't need. What were you going to say?
Yeah. Can I tell you? I just told the governor. I said, we went to break. I said, why'd you do that? I mean, you had a record to run on. He said it was my mistake. I screwed up, and it cost him his campaign. That was the final point.
We don't need to tell you this. We don't need to tell the audience this, anyone in this country, but the economy is the biggest issue, the top issue for voters. Immigration coming in second. On both fronts, Biden stinks, sucks. Inflation through the roof. Consumer prices up 16% since he took office, 20% for groceries. There have been about 6 million border encounters under his watch. The issues, all of these candidates are very close on them, Bill. Someone told me earlier, who's a very close friend of Sean, said it's really, I usually say policy over personality, but tonight it might be personality over policy because all of these candidates are so close on the policy.
Yeah. I think there are small nuances in some of the issues with some of them. You're exactly right. I agree with you on that, Dagan. We had a focus group here from Milwaukee earlier today. We had 9 men and women from ages 21 to 80. Immigration was the thing they mentioned the most. Then came economic concerns. And the third thing that I heard through a lot of different answers was just leadership. National leadership. That was really striking to me. I think you can make a few predictions tonight. I think you can predict safely that Chris Christie is going to bring up Donald Trump and go after him. I think you can make a prediction that Chris Christie's probably going to go after Ron DeSantis, and maybe a few others do it too. I believe that Ron DeSantis will be ready to defend himself. We have seen that before in some of the speeches he made recently and some of the sound bites just from this past weekend. Remember we had the video or the still pictures from 10 days ago about the guys from the cartel coming across the border at nighttime with the Kevlar and the automatic weapons. And DeSantis has been saying if that happens and I'm president, they're going to be dead. And I just thought that he upped his game when he started making those comments. I think Vivek Ramaswamy has gotten a lot of attention over the past 10 days. I think there's a lot of curiosity about him. We'll see whether he can fend off perhaps some people going after him, maybe like a Nikki Haley. You know, the back and forth they had this past week about Israel. Expect that possibly to come up tonight. I think all in all, it's going to be a really interesting night of American politics. We are stepping into what is now the biggest political event of this entire summer, and we're about to begin a process toward another president about a year and some change from now that could make or break a lot of policies that we have watched over the past 2.5 years. One more thing. Doug Burgum is the former governor from North Dakota. He was a really wealthy businessman who was very successful prior to that. He was playing basketball this morning, tore his Achilles tendon. There's a real good chance he could be the first person ever on crutches standing on stage tonight. And it might just help him in name recognition. And just one last point on Burgum. A week ago, he said, the only advice I've been given about this debate is to don't make it boring, all right? Well, already he has ensured that he will not be boring tonight if he's leaning on two crutches on that stage. So we will see how it goes. 9 o'clock Eastern.
Bill, one more question for you, because Democrats leave it up to Democrats to show up to a party they weren't even invited to, and they're very environmentally conscious. And so the DNC is reportedly they've hired a pilot to fly an anti-MAGA banner around the Milwaukee area, and tens of people showed up for the DNC presser earlier today, where they rolled a few puns. Watch this.
This group is as extreme as it gets. A bag full of MAGA apples, and they are all rotten. They are wildly out of step with the American people. While they're busy racing to win over the MAGA base, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have been laser focused on fighting for the issues that matter most to the American people.
Tonight, what you're going to hear and what you're going to see is a group of individuals with an agenda that the majority of the American people don't want any part of.
And Bill, tonight, Joe Biden's going to be watching from billionaire Tom Steyer's Lake Tahoe mansion. It sounds like the Democrats tonight, they're on defense. I'm not sure if you've seen any Democrats gather outside the Pfizer Center. What have you seen on the ground?
Not a ton, to be honest with you, but I got to tell you guys, it's like a hairdryer in your face here today all day long. So I think a lot of people have been running for the air conditioner. I'm not making that up. One last prediction, however. There's going to be an audience of about 4,000 to 5,000 invited by the RNC, all right? These are party people, okay? They want to see the party do well. And my fearless prediction would be that if you have candidates going after each other, you're going to hear some boos. But if you hear candidates going after the Democrats and their policies in these big Democratic cities and going after Joe Biden, you're going to hear a lot of applause on that floor tonight here at the Fiserv Center.
Hey, Bill, one thing for your back pocket in Wisconsin, it used to be a blue state until one congressional district changed from blue to red. That would be the northern third of the state, which used to be represented by a great Republican congressman, yours truly. Actually, that part of the country flipped. It was very rural, which allowed Scott Walker to win, Donald Trump to win, and it's why it's so close. It's this phenomenon across the country, rural becoming more red, and the suburbs, if they can hold on, it makes places that weren't competitive now much more competitive. That very thing happened in Wisconsin in 2016. It's an interesting development politically.
You were there for it, right on.
There for
you got it, Sean. Good to be with you guys, and we'll see what we get tonight.
Stay cool, Bill. Thank you.